Hello, hello, hello. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is James Rushing. I'll introduce myself in a second. I just want to go through basically what is being expected of you for this class, and then we will talk about a little bit about ourselves. I'm going to talk about me. I like to do that a lot. I'll detail all the different facets of the class and tools I put out there to help you, and hopefully we're done real soon today. Last time I did this, I had 34 people in the class. It took 4.5 hours, so since there's just a few of us, it should just be real fast, so we should be able to get through this, all right? I'm guilty of this. Can you guys turn your cell phones off, please, or at least turn the ringers off? And if you need to make a phone call or if you need to answer it, please just graciously go outside, okay? I'm going to go through the PowerPoint, which goes over the syllabus, which might answer most of the questions you folks have about the class. And then we'll go over a little bit of an Ag Skills pretest so I understand what do you understand as far as about agriculture goes. Don't be scared of this test. There's going to be probably all of the questions you might not be able to answer in detail, but I guarantee by the end of the class, you will have been given all the information to fill this test out. And whether you learned it or not, you should be able to fill it out and answer all the questions at the end. Okay? All right. All right. Let's click on through this. So basically what this is the KPFA DHHL Agriculture Skills Core Program. This is a class set up to try to increase the agriculture skills of folks in the area. It's also a two-part class, this being part one of two parts, and this next round will be, hold on, who do we got here? Is that Louie? Hey, Louie. We were just about to get started here. And so it's a two-part class. We're supposed to be able to do the agriculture skills first, and then we're going to go into a business skills, business plan development course, which is pretty intensive, where by the end you will have a business plan designed, drafted, and then you will present that idea to the board and have your ideas out on paper, and that's really the goal of this class, is to increase your agriculture skills, your awareness of what it entails to be a successful farmer nowadays in Big Island, and then I guess how to build your business, whether it be for self-sustainment, whether it be for profit, if you want to co-op with other people. It's really a nice program that you can find your way through and find what works for you and your family and how you want to design your business and your lifestyle, okay? There's also a grant associated with the program, and I'll go ahead and let Lorraine talk about that real quick. We'll talk about the grant that is available for any KPFA ag leases. So if you want to go ahead and describe who you are, why you're here, and then what exactly is...
Good morning. My name is Lorraine Godoy. I am the coordinator for this KPFA project. DHHL gave KPFA a grant to do two things. One, to do an educational component, which James is doing, and the second is to provide a $1,000 grant to 18 people to start on a farm project. And so what happens after you finish James's class, after you pass James's class, then you'll also have the business plan written up. And when that's done, you can fill out an application, and that application and your business plan will be evaluated, and 18 people will receive an incentive grant.
So all you got to do is sit through my lectures, design a business plan, and if it's a quality business plan, the board will select you as one of the 18, and you get $1,000 to put towards your business plan. Pretty good program. And it's free. It's already paid for. The classes are all paid for. So take advantage of them. Please you show up.
I got I just want to make one comment.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I'm chairman of the Ag Committee for the Keaukaha Panaewa Farmers Association. Interest in farming, particularly here in Hilo, in East Hawaii. We got all the infrastructure, we got the educational component now. The department will be looking at utilizing your land. There's a lot of land in Panaewa, not under cultivation. And it's going to come down to that some people got the leases for 20 years, after nomination. So I'm sure the department is going to be asking to update your farm plan. When they say they update your farm plan, they're going to ask you, how come you haven't done anything for the last 15 years? There are quite a bit of farmers that maybe have other problems, but I'm sure this is going to be part of the approach to resolve some of the issues. The primary purpose of the Department of Land Homes is putting people onto the land and into housing. And this is something that I think Prince Koyo envisioned, that the Hawaiian people can become progressive. So I just want to thank you folks for applying and for getting interested in this class. This is the second class. The first class was quite full. We thought the second class was going to be full too, but it's okay. So I just wanted to share that, and
Thanks,
you
Louis.
guys well, study hard. And at the end of this session, you're going to combine.
Yeah, we're going to combine the two cohorts, and we're going to come together and do a business plan class. Yeah.
And then you all be competing for the $1,000. I mean, those of you who have farmlands,
Right.
you'll be clear on that.
So everybody's clear on that it's for agricultural leases only?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for all other lessees, it's free.
Yeah.
I don't know, you pay, what, $99?
Yeah, it'd be $99, which is still an incredible value for these classes, especially the second one. But if you're DHHL, the classes are free. So, okay?
Yeah, thanks, sir.
No worries. Thanks, Louis. So yeah, we're gonna go through this. Just know that as far as my responsibility, as far as this class goes, and the relationship that has gone on between HCC and DHHL and KPFA, is I'm the instructor for this course. Any issues with the granting and stuff, go ahead and talk to Lorraine about that. I do have many other projects that I do here, so I'll explain what I do here and as far as my time availability, and I'm certainly here for you for class time, okay? Let's go through this real quick, and we'll have a little bit of understanding. Let's talk about me. I like to talk about me, like I said. My name is James Rushing. I am a CTAR graduate over at UH Manoa. I got a degree in tropical plant soil sciences. I'm also a graduate student here at UH Hilo in tropical conservation biology, environmental science. It's a lot of words to describe farming. And I'm going to be working on my PhD soon. Applications are out, and hopefully I can be picked up by somebody. I have a lot of agriculture experience as far as tropical agriculture. I also own a consultation service, agriculture consultation service that I've been running on Oahu and Big Island for a couple of years. I'm a plant and soil nutrition specialist, advocate, and definitely a biologist. So if you know anything about me, just know that I am a farmer first, an educator second, and then a scientist third. Most people think that when I start talking, I'm a scientist first. I'm definitely more of a farmer first, although most of the stuff that I bring up is pretty latent with biology. That's because farming is a biological science, no matter how you twist it. It has to do with life, it has to do with decay, and it has to do with chemistry. So understanding those concepts and how minerals and nutrition and all that stuff happens is certainly crucial. And I don't know about your level of experience with those things, but we'll find out about it on the ag test. But I'll certainly be here to help you out, okay? I also have business experience as well, which is certainly going to be useful, as you'll see over on the business side when we do the other class. Business owner, I was a product manager. I've been in sales and finance, owned the mortgage company and all that stuff. So been around, and I'm originally from Chicago. Anybody been to Chicago before? Yeah, what'd you think?
It's busy.
It's busy, very beautiful, very cold in the winter, very nice in the summer. But certainly Hawaii is my home. I've been coming to Hawaii since I was a very young kid, many times a year. And as soon as I became old enough and mature enough to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I came directly here. And I don't plan on going anywhere unless my PhD takes me somewhere, and I plan on doing all of my research and everything here. And then when I'm done with PhD, I plan to come back. So I've been in Hawaii for a total of 6 years. I live in Keaukaha now. I'm actually probably going to be moving over to Puna pretty soon. It's just cheaper for me. And I also have a young son at home, Felix, and my wife, Sarah, and we're going to hopefully try to figure out a way to have her spend the next year with him at home. So she's currently a high school art teacher over at Keaukaha High School, and so we're trying to figure out ways to work it out so that we can spend a lot more time with this bug. So definitely one of the coolest guys I know, by far. I'm way into scuba diving. One of the reasons I came to Hawaii was to be a professional scuba diver, which I did for 2 years over on Oahu. And I've been diving for 19 years, in Chicago mostly. So I was in the murky, cold waters and doing salvage with dry suits and some pretty extreme stuff. So one of my passions, I don't really have a lot of time for that anymore because I do a lot of this working in education, and then I'm really into unconventional farming. So when I talk about unconventional farming, I'm talking about non-traditional styles, in that most of the materials that I use are a result of fermentation, microbial inoculation, or somehow getting materials naturally from the environment and turning it into some sort of fertilizer or nutrient. So as far as I'm concerned, like, organic isn't good enough, and I work mostly with materials that are from the immediate area, and I draft ways to run farms on budgets that are 60% lower than a traditional conventional farm, through retaining water and lowering of fertilizer needs and all that good stuff. So if you have any questions about unconventional farming, I'm your guy. I also do a lot of paddleboarding, and of course I hang out with my boy Felix. If you look on the syllabus, it describes the dates of the class. Actually, it doesn't. I lied. But it does have the class location and hours. Our classes are going to be June 29th, July 6th, the 13th. I think we skip a week in there. And then we have the 27th, and then the August 3rd for the last class. I'm going to be out of town for that week period, so you guys have a nice break, and you'll have plenty of time to catch up on anything that you might be missing, okay? So that's my little gift to you, is a nice little break between the other class. Didn't get that. Talking about the course description, of course, the goal of this program is to offer existing and aspiring farmers comprehensive skills that will build upon learning of high-quality lecture. That's me. And hands-on experiences. We're going to do a couple of field trips. So we'll take you out to the field and take you into a lab, and we'll start looking at diseases and that kind of thing. So hopefully expose you, if nothing else, to some hands-on experiences, okay? Guidelines for success in my class. This is pretty much the same guidelines for all of my classes. Basically, to get the most out of this class, I recommend you attend every one. Well, that's kind of a given in that attendance is required in this class. But we'll talk about other options as far as attendance goes in just a second. We're going to participate in classroom discussions. Hopefully there's not a lot of folks in this class that just sit in the back, don't say much. I really like people contributing, whether it's talking about something that's completely off subject. I don't care. I just like people being involved in the class. Show respect, of course, to your lecturers, the local businesses we visit, all the personnel from DHHL, KPA, HCC, and all that good stuff. And of course, each other. Show each other respect. Each person will certainly complete the requirements for the certification to get the most out of the class. You're here for a reason. You're here to learn a lot in a very short period of time. A lot of it's going to be over your head, and just know that right off the bat, the goal is to get your head up to that level so it's not over your head anymore, okay? So I'm here to educate you. I'm here to give you the information. Whether you retain it or not is really up to you, because there is no grade at the end of the class. Although I do require that certain things, certain assignments are done to show me that you have some understanding of the materials. I need to be able to assess that you understand what we've said in class, As long as you show me in the assessment that you understand these, I can pass it on to the people that have given us all this wonderful money so we can do this and show that it works, okay? That's all. I'm not out to give you homework to make your life difficult. It's really to give you a sense of assessment to understanding the materials, okay? It is a lot of materials in a very short period of time, okay? And also, please utilize my very limited services and office hours. We'll talk about that in a sec. Turning on, talked about assessment. We'll get to assessment, I guess. Please have fun. Please work hard. Please participate in each class. By participation, please read all of the materials that I give you before the next class. The reason why I want you to do that is so that you can contribute to the class and you don't feel totally lost and then feel like you're falling behind, okay? The goal really is go home, do your reading, show up, that we could all contribute with the same capacity of understanding, okay? Please show up on time. That's never really been a problem with the last group. Everybody showed up 30 minutes early, which kind of set me off, but as I tend to show up right on time or maybe just 5 minutes after. So despite my name rushing, I am late for everything. Sorry about that. But please show up on time and bring some note-taking materials. We'll talk a little bit about notes in a second. And then please bring discussion notes and questions. Like actually sit down when you're doing your readings. If something you don't understand is in there, if something's a little more technical than you're used to, just write that word down. Beginning of class, the next round, just raise your hand. James, I don't understand what this said. And then I can verbalize it to the entire group, and maybe there's somebody else who had the same question, okay? So I would rather spend the class period answering your questions and having you show me that you are trying to understand the materials than to get to all of the materials, okay? My 2 cents on notes, okay? A lot of folks taking this class haven't taken notes in a very, very long time. In my honest opinion, notes are totally useless unless they are organized, right? Also, if they do not distract you from the lecture. The worst thing to do is to watch somebody who's so diligently writing down what I'm saying, they're not comprehending what I'm saying, and then I ask them 5 minutes later, what did I just say? And then they have to read their notes, but they can't understand it because they weren't paying attention. So, please don't let it distract you from the lecture. Please make sure your notes are readable and also a word I made up, referenceable, in that I want you to be able to go back a year later, read them, totally understand them, not have any questions about what the heck did I mean when I wrote this down, okay? So be sure it's organized. So don't use them unless you're going to do all of these things, all right? Hi.
Hi. Oh my.
Who are you?
Another Hoxton.
Who? You're not officially signed up yet?
No, we're not.
Okay. What's your
Hoxton?
first name?
April?
April.
Yeah. There's gonna be my mother too.
Ooh.
Priscilla Hoxton.
Awesome.
That's who I was waiting for. Sorry, guys. So she wouldn't get lost.
No worries. I like more students. That's good.
Okay, good.
Just to play a little catch up, we do have textbooks, but I can't give them to you yet until you're officially signed up. So we'll get you signed up on Monday. Hopefully during the week, if one of you guys can come in, maybe come pick them up.
Okay.
And then you can do the readings and you'll be all caught up for the next class. We just started going over the syllabus. I'm sure she could fill you in on anything you missed at the end of class. And like I said, notes. For many years in college, I would not take notes. I would listen and comprehend, and it would drive the professors crazy. I'd sit in the back of one of the most difficult philosophy classes and not write anything down, and my teacher was just baffled. And then I came in and I got A's. How do you do it? I listen and I pay attention, and anything I don't understand, then I write that note down. I might write down 2 or 3 words, and I make sure that I focus on the lecture. So if whatever your style is, I don't want to say don't use notes, please use notes. I'm going to have it available, hopefully through technology, that you will be able to review any of the videos from this class, and you can go back and check all your reference, okay? So please keep them organized. If you have any issues with this, there are resources at HCC for note-taking and that kind of thing. Maybe you can get a hold of them and find out if that's an issue for you. Okay. As far as assessment goes, These are the expected outcomes and observable evidence of learning. Like I said, I have to have some assessment in the class to show that you guys understand the concepts. The assessment criteria will be given out at the beginning of each assignment. Any of the assignments in this class are just going to basically be worksheets that I'll hand out to you at the end of one of the classes. They are to be turned in by the next class. I had made it last time available to the students to turn it in by the last class. None of them did it until 2 days before the last class. They were pretty poor as far as the quality of the assignments. I would like to change what I'm doing now, and I'm going to be making them due before the next class. Okay? That way, you don't become overwhelmed. And then I have a lot of students that at the end hadn't done all the assignments, had come together, had gone on to all the classes, and then just accepted the fact they're not going to get the certification because they're so far behind. So I'm hoping by assigning it, and you guys actually have them in by the next class, that will motivate you. So anything turned in after the due date will not be accepted. You don't get a certification. Okay, guys? So just get it in on time. It's fresh in your head that week. Do it that week instead of putting it off. Okay? We will, as far as assignments go, will be assessed through peer reviewing or advisory boards, either by me grading it, going through and telling you which parts need to be changed, or we might do it as a group because it's a smaller group. We might just go through and grade each other's. Okay. The goal really at the end of the class is to have 9 check marks. That's 1 check mark for each attendance day, and then that's 4 assignments, which are just the worksheets at the end of class. So it's a total of 9. If I have 9 check marks for you, you get a certification at the end of the class, and then you can go on to the granting part of the class. If you do not get all 9 check marks, you're still welcome to go to the business plan development side of the class, continue on, but you're not eligible for that grant. Okay? So in order to be eligible for the grant, you have to do the work. Like I said, you'll be assessed on attendance, one of the check marks there. You'll be presented with a certification of professional development by Hawaii Community College. Basically states how many hours that you spent in a room, which is pretty helpful when you're asking for lending or somebody's asking as far as your agriculture skills. Certainly helpful when you're designing your business plan and you're putting together your talents and skills and understanding of where you belong in the management team. Please turn in assignments before the due date and the time. Don't expect to, like I might have them due Saturday nights via email by 11:59 p.m. Don't wait till the last minute to email those to me because sometimes computers suck and they just don't behave correctly. Is there any issues as far as computer usage in this room? There is an issue. Okay. We are offering for this class, we are offering the computer lab and people to train you in anything you need to do as far as understanding the internet, how to connect, all those types of things. Also, there's plenty of people in the room that might be able to pair up with you and at least get you through the program. Unfortunately, most of the program has to be computer-based, and because the assignments and the way that they're given to me, it's really just email and a little bit of internet. It's nothing too fancy, okay? If there's any issues with that, talk to me after class and we'll get together and we'll figure out a way to make sure that you're on board, moving at the same pace as everybody else, okay? Don't be scared. I'll figure it out with you, okay? You will get a confirmation email for each assignment turned in to me. If you email it to me, I usually read it through. I'll edit it and then give it back to you if there needs to be any adjustments. And then I'll give you a confirmation email. Thank you so much for turning it in. You got a check mark for turning in your assignment. That's it, plain and simple. If you want to do paper assignment, turning it in, I'm totally available to do that. Just know that it's a snail mail process where you might have to bring in a paper copy of the assignment, and in order for me to get the corrections back to you, I'm going to have to spend a day doing that, and then I'll put it back in my mailbox, then you got to come pick it up. So by the time you turn it in, you might get it back 3 or 4 days later. They're due 7 days later. So it's just much easier to email. But if you can't do that and it doesn't seem like it fits for you, then I'm willing to work with you on the paper, and I will be in my office ready to hand grade all your stuff. It's a small enough class I can handle that. Okay, guys? So it's not a computer requirement in the class. We can exist perfectly fine without it. I just prefer it. That's all. Okay? It's easier for me. I have 4 programs. Actually, I'm working on 5, going on 6 coming up in August, where I'm doing I'm organizing 5 or 6 different programs, education classes. I'm teaching some. I'm designing one class that's teaching 100 students at 5 different locations all over the island. Yeah, so I got a lot going on my plate. So just know that when it comes to the paper, turning in the assignments, or maybe corresponding with me other than an email, it might just take a little bit longer. Okay? For certification, attendance is required. A little asterisk there. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me check my video here.